Alright boys, I'm finally going to make an in-depth guide for those that are struggling, and I'm going to try my best to help you out. If you want to know certain things specifically, you can just go ahead and skip to these 4 things: talents, conduits, DPS rotation, and what you should be looking out for in Arena. Those are the 4 things we're going to be going over. Let me just add, Doomwinds is a BIS for you right now, so that doesn't change. I know there's some new changes to Enhancement Shamans that are coming out, but I still think Doomwinds possibly is going to be the best thing still, but it's hard to say until it's officially out. Alright, so for the talents: Forceful Winds, Storm Flurry, Earth Shield, Elemental Assault, Nature's Guardian, Sundering Ascendance. Now, the only thing I really swap between is Nature Guardian and Feral Lunge. If I feel like I'm really going to struggle to connect to a certain team, I will Feral Lunge if I don't think I'm going to get blown up. But if I'm going to get blown up, you run Nature's Guardian, which is pretty much by default you're going to run this. Also, the only time you get out of Nature's Guardian is if you face a Disc Priest or a Priest in general, because they're going to have Venthyr, which gives them Mind Games. If they Mind Games you, Nature Guardians literally can kill you, so it's not good. So it gets any Priest team, go ahead and get out of Nature's Guardian. PvP talents, I run Shamanism, Grounding Totem, and Swelling Waves. Again, this is pretty much by default Shamanism because obviously it's very good. You can give it to your DPS or healer. I mostly give it to my warrior. If you don't know, I run Turbo, which is Enhancement Shaman warrior, and we play with the Disc Priest as well. We're doing really well with it. Grounding is pretty much always the default. There's always going to be something that is juicy to ground. Even if you're facing a double melee team and the enemy healer is like a paladin or priest who can ground Mind Games, the paladin can ground Hodges. I'm sure you might be able to fool around with it a little bit. If it's a double melee and you want to run like Ride of Lightning, I can see that working. Swelling Waves is a must because us Enhancement Shamans, what makes us so good in Arena in terms of defenses is not just our kicks and groundings, but our self heals. You can literally top yourself off in one heal, especially with this talent, it'll make it a lot better. Now time for the conduits. Alright, so there's going to be some conduits that I do not have, but I'm going to tell you what the best are. Best conduits are Unruly Winds. Obviously, Unruly Winds is going to increase your go by a significant amount. If you don't have this, you're going to struggle a little bit on your DPS goes. Second one, Spiritual Resonance. Again, something I don't have. Basically, when you pop Bloodlust, it will give you Spirit Walk, which is very nice because if you do pop it and you're in like a route or slow, it will get you out. It does not act as a freedom, but just gets you out of a one-time thing, and you'll have movement speed increase. So again, it's very good for your goes. For the next one, it's going to be between 2. It's Vital Accretion and Refreshing Waters. You could do either or, which kind of fits your playstyle. I tend to think I don't get blown up as much. If you feel like you're getting blown up, you'll run Vital Accretion. If you feel like you're able to last a little bit longer and last because of your heals, you want to go Refreshing Waters. Again, both are very good in my opinion. And for the last one, you want Focus Lighting. It's going to increase your healing and damage overall. Very nice to have. If you're able to get the highest item level as you can with any of these, as you can see, I have blues. I even have a poopy conduit right here, and then 2 decent ones. It doesn't really matter that much if it's a blue to an epic. The change of it is very small. So as long as you have it, I would use it. Alright, DPS rotation. DPS rotation is very easy. So we're just going to talk about basically what you do for your non-goes and goes. So one of the most important things is to keep your target slowed. If your target is not slow, go ahead and put a slow on it. I don't know why Frost Shock didn't go on it, but does it not show? Okay, it does not show. So you want to be spamming slows onto the target. It's going to suck if you have to slow it, but you're going to do it until there isn't a real slow. So if you're playing like with a warrior, have him hamstring. Again, if that target's moving 100% speed, you need to slow him. Do everything you can. Slows go over damage. That's something that is very important, because if he's not slowed and you pop your damage or you're trying to do damage, he's just going to simply waddle away. So keeping a target slowed is insanely important. I can't stress this enough. Most of your damage is going to revolve around Storm Strike. So most of the time you'll do Storm Strike into a Crash Lightning, and then hopefully you'll get a proc of another Storm Strike. That's really your damage right there. There isn't too much different. Now, about your Maelstrom, you always want to have at least 5 Maelstrom on you at all times, because if you need to heal and they're doing a swap, you need to have that for that case. So if you have 10, you're able to use 1 on a Lightning Bolt. Who cares? Get a little bit more damage out there, but keep 5 as much as you can. For your goes, you're going to want to go ahead and pop Bloodlust, Ascendance, and then Wind Fury. Why you do that in that order is because you get Bloodlust, you get the haste, and that means you'll do your next 2 cooldowns a little bit faster. So Bloodlust, Ascendance, Wind Fury. Pretty much at that point, you just spam Wind Strike. That is how you get the most value out of your Wind Fury goes. If you're popping Wind Fury and then Ascendance, that's really, really, really bad. Our biggest damage is Wind Fury. And something else I want to point out is you never want an Ascendance without Wind Fury. And pretty much Wind Fury and Bloodlust go together anyways because they're on the same cooldown. I think we went over everything. That's pretty much it. Oh, for macros are very, very, very basic. But if you don't have a Razor Nag or anything like that, that has 12 buttons, you might struggle a little bit. So you don't have to do it this way, but this is how I do it. I have cleansing macros for 1, 2, 3, which is me, myself, and my teammates. And then I have Hex macros. I have Wind Shear macros, and I have Purge macros. And on top of that, I have targeting macros for an enemy team. This is what it looks like. Alright, so the first thing to do when the gates open in Arena, you're going to want to go ahead and pop Feral Spirit. The reason why is because you're going to want to get that Maelstrom stack again. You don't really care for the damage that you get from this. It's all about that Maelstrom. Having the first 5 stack Maelstrom is huge. So if you're facing like a rogue mage and they open you and you don't have any Maelstrom, even if you trinket wall, you possibly could be dead. Why? Is because if the rogue or close or evasions, it's going to be very, very, very hard for you to get any buildup of Maelstrom. And you're not going to be able to hit mage because you have a rogue on you, and if you're going to try to chase a mage and he hasn't used any blinks, he has 2 by default, that you're going to have a tough time reaching him. So always Feral Spirits right off the bat. Another huge tip, I see a lot of Enhancement Shamans make this mistake, is that they're hard casting healing surges onto themselves or to the teammates. This is very, very, very bad. Never do this. At least always try to have a 5 stack to be able to do this. 1, because you're getting more value out of the healing, and 2, it's instant, so your uptime of damage is going to be a little bit more. This encourages you to be a little bit more aggressive. So you should always be looking to get Maelstrom Strikes. Even when you're running away, if you have a little pet on you, or if they're chasing you, go ahead and hit them. If you have Storm Strike, get that Maelstrom build up. So that way you're able to heal yourself and your teammates. Okay, so how an opener would look like against a Rogue Mage, Priest, or Paladin is that if they open you and you see them either Blades or pop Combust, you're going to want to trinket immediately and pop Wall. You can use your 5 stacks that you got from your Feral Spirits on a heal, and you normally should be fine. And if you're not, guess what? That HP that you got from healing yourself should give you enough time to get another 5 stacks of Maelstrom to maybe do like a Chain Harvest. While we're talking about Chain Harvest, the only 2 times I use Chain Harvest. I use Chain Harvest as an execute, or I use it to help heal my team. That is the only times. Do not use it as part of your damage rotation. Do not. That is another mistake I see a lot of people do. So one thing that makes Shaman's utility overall very good is because we have grounding and Wind Shear and Trimmer. Those 3 things are huge. So again, with this kind of stuff, you're going to want to be looking to use this to stop their goes. And Mage, the biggest example, they're going to want to do their goes off of polys, right? So you're going to want to try to stop as many polys as you can. So get good at kicking, get good at saving a global for grounding. And try to watch out if a warrior or a priest looks like he's coming in to fear your healer or yourself. So one thing my team likes to do is, since Turbo does a lot of damage in PvE in general, we're able to get cooldowns without having to pop very much. So that being said, if we're facing a Holy Paladins have Ultimate Sacrifice in their wings. They have very big cooldowns. Essentially, nothing is going to die. So if you make that Paladin pop his cooldowns and your warriors popping cooldowns and you're popping cooldowns, you're wasting your CDs. So if anything, I always let my warrior go first on his cooldowns. Just wait to see what we get. We might get wall, we might get wings, we might get sacked, we might get a bunch of different things. And then I'll wait those things out and then I'll do my go. Against mostly only Holy Paladins. You could sort of do this to Priest too, but a lot of times you could just go right off the bat. Any other healer, again, you could just go. Not to say that if you see them pop CDs, I'm not saying pop your CD into their CD, because one, they're getting more value out of their CDs because they're just going to tank everything. So be smart with it. Something to keep in mind is your hexes. If you're facing an enemy team that they don't have an enemy speller, or they do and it's only one person, and it might be a freaking another shaman, if you can go ahead and try to get a hex on that shaman, that'd be huge. One, you're getting kicks and wind shears out of the way. So that leaves your healer free to cast. So what I like to do, since I'm Venthyr, which you should be Venthyr too, is you can actually bait kicks with Dora's Shadows. And guess what? If they kick your Dora's Shadows, you'll be able to go for Hex. And they might have another kick or ground for it or whatever. They might try to stop that. But you're getting multiple things out of the way for you to eventually get the Hex off. Or freeing up kicks just for your healer. Another thing you really need to get good at is rotating your CDs with your teammates. Again, since I play with the Turbo, I'm mostly going to be talking about Turbo. For instance, if the enemy team go is on me, it is my job to survive first go. Second go should be my healer. Third go is my warrior has to save me. So everyone should be rotating their trinkets to be able to save to each other. Essentially, that's what it is. That's not all the time. That's only against comps like Rogue Mage. Comps that have setup, you should be saving your trinkets for stuff like that. Now, if you're facing a mirror or something that doesn't have a lot of CC and they're just like big damage, you can go ahead and get away and save your trinket for your go. So if I face a warrior, basically they're going to save disarm for your Wind Fairy Ghost, right? So if you can, try to bait it out. See if they will pop disarm before anything. See if they'll stun you before anything. So if you get stunned by a warrior, you're able to do your go. Guess what? He's probably going to disarm you or fear you. So go ahead and pop Tremor. And then if he disarms you, you're able to trinket. Now as an Enhancement Shaman, sadly, there's not a whole lot of good comps that we can run. I recommend you run with a Warrior and Holy Paladin or Disc Priest. Disc Priest is kind of working for us right now, but Holy Paladin, you're probably going to have more success with that. If you have any other questions, I hope I went through everything. I can't think of anything that I could tell you at this very moment. So if you have personal questions you would like to ask me and I can go more in depth, maybe you come to my stream and I can help you out there. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If it's helped you, please let me know down below. Peace, peace. Have a beautiful day.